ALS affects 2 in every 100,000 people. So in British Columbia at any given time, we have about 375 people living with the disease. But when you think about each person has a circle of friends and family around them, when you start adding in all those people that have been affected by the disease because a loved one has it, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people being affected by ALS in British Columbia. Mike and Nadine Sands live in Maple Ridge, and sadly Mike was diagnosed at the age of 52 years ago. They're living the best that they can with the disease.
It was the twitching that was up in his chest and arm. So it started, I think he said it started on one side. Was it your tricep, I think? And then it was kind of visible up here, and I noticed it and I mentioned it, and then it kind of spread. And Mike's not a big worrier, so it was like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. It was really when he started to worry was when his right hand became weak. Like he noticed a weakness in his right hand, so turning doorknobs and clipping his nails and doing those fine motor activities. And that's when he thought, well, he better get that checked out. The doctor referred him to a specialist, a neurologist, but while we were waiting for that appointment, Mike did lots of research.
In the months leading up to my diagnosis, I thoroughly researched my symptoms and had already come to the conclusion that I had ALS, so it wasn't a great shock when they gave me the news.
The team at ALSBC consists of 7 people, and we care at any given time for 375 people living with the disease. But we also care for their family, friends, and caregivers, as well as people who have lost people to ALS. The Patient Services Program at ALSBC is really the core services that we provide, overseeing the equipment loan program, support groups, the kids camp, all those different areas. The ALS Center at GF Strong houses our ALS specialized medical professionals. The relationship with the ALS Center and ALSBC is really important because it's very confusing for people when they're diagnosed because they get a whole bunch of information thrown at them. So by us having that very tight-knit relationship with our center, it saves the stress of the person and the family, and they know that they're going to get the support they need.
Right away, you're referred to GF Strong, the ALS clinic there, and the whole team of people are there. So you've got quite a support system there. And that's one of the first things that they tell you about is the ALS Society, that it's there for any needs that you have, you can go to them.
The ALS Society has been very supportive of me. Whenever I have needed a piece of equipment, all it takes is a phone call. And within a few short days, the equipment is in my possession.
Beyond the equipment, there's so much to the society for sure. They provide free counseling for families with ALS. If you need rides, they'll provide rides for you for appointments and things like that.
I think the greatest challenge is the required empathy to look after someone with a disease where you know 100% you have, at the moment, no chance of curing it. And so you have to take a different tack. You have to say to yourself, how can I help this person through this 2, 3, 4 years of rather awful progression to make things easier for them? One of the things that I know the team here has been trying to do for some years is to involve community care. In any given community, there are OTs and physiotherapists and social workers. And when the mobile clinics go out to these various areas, they now try to invite the local OTs, PTs, social workers for the day and have an on-site ALS care session, because it's much better if you can be looked after at home. The sort of care we have is important, and it does keep you much more comfortable, keeps you going a little longer, but it doesn't solve the major problem, doesn't cure the disease.
Bob Heinrich is one of our major donors, and when his wife Jeanette passed away from ALS, he set up an endowment fund at the Vancouver Foundation.
Jeanette and I were married in 1963, and we were married for 30 years. Post-diagnosis, she lived for 3.5 years, passing away in June of 1992. It became very apparent while she was dealing with the disease that we were short of equipment, and it's all very, very costly, and there's a great need for money to come in that would finance more equipment. An endowment can provide for that on an ongoing basis. Now, this endowment is growing substantially, and it's producing annual income, but the need is so great, and the cost of equipment and the cost of services is increasing so much. I personally add money to it every year, and increasing the awareness. I produce a calendar each year and offer that as gifts to people and encourage them to make donations to the endowment. This is my way of trying to increase the awareness of ALS in the province. It's my hope that as the incidence of ALS occurs around the province, that anybody in any area, living any area of the province, is able to get the help that they need.
To think that anyone with ALS in our province who's in need of a chair like this or a wheelchair or a lift, these are, things that somebody in my situation, it's imperative to have these things, to enjoy your life, and to think that everyone can have these items. It's just incredible.
The cost to a family with this disease, to keep this disease going, trying to look after, is insurmountable. Something in the order of $140,000 a year.
We are so reliant on our donors to support us so we can sustain the services of the Society. It is crucial that we continue to provide the support to people living with ALS in BC, but also to be able to increase that and to enhance their quality of life.